Hello, a warm welcome to you in the Ghatna Chakra book video. Let's begin this journey where we will present every topic in a simple, clear, and exam-oriented manner.
Can you actually write fairness into a country's laws? And I'm not talking about some vague ideal, but a hard mathematical rule. Well, it turns out you absolutely can. And we're going to dive into a really powerful example from India's constitution, what's known as the one-third rule.
I mean, this is the big question for any democracy, isn't it? A founding document can promise all sorts of things, like equality. But how do you make that promise real? How do you make sure the people making the decisions actually look like the people they represent?
So don't worry, we're not about to read the entire Indian Constitution. Nope. Instead, we're going to zoom way in on just one single provision. But it's an incredibly powerful one, and it's just a fascinating look at how you can design representation right at the most local level.
Okay, so first things first, we need a little context. We're talking about something called the Panchayat system. The easiest way to think of these are as local councils, village governments. They're really the foundation of grassroots democracy in India. And the key part, their members are chosen by direct elections.
And that brings us to the blueprint itself, Article 243D. You can think of this as the legal engine, the piece of the puzzle that was specifically designed to engineer a more representative local government. So, what does this article actually do? Well, its main job is simple but really profound. It mandates the reservation of seats. So it doesn't just hope for diversity. It literally carves out space for it, right there in the law. This is where that big idea of fairness starts to become a real, concrete rule. Okay, so if you're going to reserve seats, who gets them? This is where the Constitution gets very specific. It doesn't leave anything up to chance or interpretation. It just names the groups directly.
So the Constitution calls out three specific groups: scheduled castes and scheduled tribes, which are historically disadvantaged communities that are officially recognized by the government, and women. Now, the rules for all three are incredibly important, but the mandate for women is such a powerful example of this law in action, so that's where we're going to zero in.
Because what's so interesting here is how the Constitution handles representation for women. It's not just a suggestion or a goal. No way. It is a specific, mathematical, and totally non-negotiable rule that applies to the entire country.
So what is that rule? How much representation is actually guaranteed? It's not some vague percentage or a target to maybe hit one day. It's a hard number, a fraction that's had this massive impact. Any guesses?
1/3. That's it. That's the rule. Just a simple fraction with enormous power, saying that at least 1/3 of all seats in these local governments must be held by women.
In the actual text in the Constitution is crystal clear. It states that 1/3 of seats in each Panchayat have been reserved for women. That little phrase, "in each Panchayat," is everything. This isn't some national average to shoot for. It is a universal mandate for every single local council everywhere.
And really, that's how you do it. You take this abstract ideal, this concept of fairness, you put it into the law, and you turn it into a hard, undeniable number. And in this case, that number is 1/3.
So I want to leave you with this thought. This isn't just a number on a piece of paper. This is a reality that has completely reshaped politics for millions of people. It really makes you wonder, what happens to a community, to an entire country, when you guarantee, by law, that at least 1/3 of its local leaders will always be women?